be number 6. Let's see what we got morning has broken, and it's quite a lovely morning, I think. I think it's going to be a gorgeous day, and what a gift. So I'm wondering, have we thought what we're going to do with this gift? Maybe we'll just spend the day taking a nap. I did that yesterday for the most of the day. It was delightful. But I actually ought to do something worthwhile that I feel good about me doing today. And maybe each one of us should ask ourselves a little question. What are we going to do today? We got this great, beautiful gift. Pretty soon it's going to be raining a lot and chilly, and today is a gorgeous day. What can we do that might match the beauty of the day in what we do with others or for ourselves? I don't know. I see these 2 young ladies back here, and they've got plans for today. I can tell they got things on their mind. They're never at a loss for things to do that are exciting and wonderful and beautiful, right? Right, girls? You up for that? Okay. So I guess that's all I'm asking us to do, is to maybe think of today as a gift rather than just another day for naps, and maybe go forward with a little gusto in our steps. And so it is.
Naps are gifts.
Yes.
I always listen to, when I'm asked to give a mini message, I kind of listen for a pulse from the universe of what themes are coming out. And I'll hear it from different sources unrelated, so they didn't have a conference and figure it out together. So what was kind of coming through for me this week was the concept of turning it over to a higher power. There's a lot of troubles and stress in the media and the news and angst and fear, right? Anxiety is a meditation on fear. And in my spiritual walk, I know that my consciousness, whatever this is playing, is what the world feeds back, and it affirms whatever frequency this is running. And so if I'm in, oh my God, isn't that terrible? Guess what? I get more of, right? Or my blinders, my filter glasses are on to just receive that. I'm a woman of recovery. For some people that would be off-putting, but I'm allowed to break my own anonymity. Part of our process is that we work to find our way to a better self and heal up some of the nonsense and mess that we made while we were in it. In what I'm involved with, we work the steps. There's different ways of going at it. And right now, one of those metaphysical principles, things that I've just found that happens for me, is that when I am working a step, I get multiple examples of the challenges, test, pop quiz around the principles and whatever I'm working on. Right now I'm in third step. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about what that's out. That one's about turning it over. So Merry Christmas. Here I am, and what's the universe giving me is examples, right? Third step, the spiritual principle behind it is faith. It involves making a decision to turn your will and life over to a higher power for guidance and care. The principle of faith allows individuals to let go of self-will and trust that a power greater than themselves can lead them towards recovery or whatever other problem you're working on, and a new way of life, even when uncertainty exists. During these times, lots of uncertainty, right? So how faith applies to this. Step 3 requires a leap of faith, trusting that a higher power can provide the direction and support needed to overcome self-centeredness and addiction or whatever problem you're working on. Action in faith, making the decision, is an action by itself, but faith grows by further actions that align with it. That means you can't just think about it, you can't just talk about it, you got to do something. Letting go of control. Some people, they'll say that the turning it over is letting go of ego. One of those little acronyms is ego stands for edging God out. Okay, if I'm running on myself, there ain't no God in there. So instead of trying to force one's own will onto situations, faith in a higher power helps one to accept the things one cannot change and find serenity in the moment. I can be here now and not get all hung up on yesterday or future tripping on what's tomorrow and will change by the time it gets here anyway. Developing a higher power. The concept of a higher power is personal and can evolve, but the core idea is to seek guidance beyond personal willpower. It means getting out of myself. Growing faith isn't just a belief, it grows through consistent practice, such as making the decision daily and witnessing evidence of this new way of living. Early recovery, practicing this principle. There's some folks in there, and bless them that they can do it this way. They would turn it over to God and be done with it, and it would never come back. That ain't my thing. My thing, it's like a ping pong match. I give it away, take it back, give it away, take it back. And one of the little cartoons that I had for how I turn it over was a kitty cat with bloody claws letting go, right? Because that's how I let go of. And practicing, they're a little less bloody now, but I still try to hang on to things and run it my way. But turning it over when the scope of the troubles and the worries are just too freaking big, my life gets a whole lot simpler when I put it in the power of Creator, God, whatever you call your higher power. When I turn it over to something bigger than myself, my slate's empty. I can focus on what's right in front of me and not all that bigger stuff. It's way bigger than what I can handle anyway. These are God-sized problems, right? And so when I accept that those are God-sized problems, my life gets so much better. And when I quit trying to tell God, put my God in a straitjacket, how's that working out, right? My God says, here, hold my beer, watch this, right? Okay. So when I turn around and I quit trying to tell God how to do it, the miracles that happen to me are beyond my wildest imaginations, way better than I could have scripted or built, and it works out so much better. So in recovery, we're told to, having had an awakening as a result of these steps, we've had to practice these principles in all our affairs. I try to live those principles on a daily basis. I accept that I'm a human being and I fall short. I don't beat myself up for it nearly as much as I used to. I'm pretty hard on myself sometimes. But I'm doing the best I can, and so is most everyone else. When I let God run the show, it turns out so much better. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sabrena. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. How are we doing this morning? All right? Okay. Have some announcements. Number one, I'd like to thank Becca Brecky for a wonderful newsletter. She just dots the I's and crosses the T's, and really appreciate it. Thank you. Did we ring a bell on Friday?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's good. How many were in the throng of multitudes?
Me and Joy.
Well, they're good. Wherever two or more gathered,
Yes.
a joyful noise happens. So thank you. The Women's Spiritual Book Conversation, I think that's what it's called, will meet a week from Thursday, which will be, I forget now.
A week of Thursday.
Yeah, the 16th. It will be the 16th. So, and then probably again one more time before the end of the month. So the 30th maybe I can add too. So the board meeting is next Sunday at 9 o'clock. Got a lot of stuff going on at the board meeting next week. And the 26th is potluck. Any other announcements?
Flowers. Sign up for flowers, and we could always use more cookies.
Flowers and cookies. Okay. That's worthy of our immediate attention, especially the cookie part. Bonnie.
You said something about on the 19th, you were going to have,
Oh, thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
2 weeks from today, we're going to have 3 ladies, Lori, Julie, and somebody else, and I can't remember her name now. They are going to kind of do the whole service musically. They're going to have readings and poetry and meditations and singing and harmonies, and I'm sure the congregation is going to become interactive with that. And it's going to be a very different, very beautiful service, I'm sure. So please plan on being here. And thank you for reminding me, Bonnie. I'm a little sidetracked this morning. I'm getting ready for a trip. I haven't taken a trip in a while. But Wednesday I get on a plane to go to Ohio to marry my youngest daughter. That sounds a little strange, but I'm going to officiate the ceremony. And she's marrying a wonderful guy. I'm so pleased. So anyways, I'm busy in my head a lot. So watch me close. I'm actually kind of fun to watch, but just make sure I don't make any serious errors. Any other announcements? Okay. This is when we share the names of people that we know in our own little worlds that are going through some dark times, some challenge. Maybe it's a relationship challenge or a health challenge, financial challenge. Maybe they're just totally overwhelmed with all that's going on in our world. So if we'd like to speak these names out loud, then we were going to send them our love and our light. Anne?
Ron.
Ron?
Troy.
Bill,
Catherine.
Rudy.
And Wayne. Anyone else? Or let's just send our energy, this gift we have within us. Let's just send it out into the universe. It knows where to go and it knows what's needed. We trust our energy and our love will be of benefit for the highest good, and so it is. All right, let's stand up and sing a song that I'm liking more and more as we go along. It's Flow, Spirits, Flow. This is more about the high, recognizing and being in tune with the unseen, the higher power that Sabrena spoke about. Well, let's stand up and sing with gusto. And this is the time we take to have the great honor and benefit to greet each other in the typical Church of the Oaks fashion.
Hi, baby. I'll have Yes, yes, more. 10 a day, baby.
I don't see any problem with that right now.
That's got to be the best part of the service. It just has to be. It's just where we just actually share our energies with each other, share our hugs and our handshakes and our eyesight and our recognition of each other. Abundance. Do I need to say anything about abundance? Does everybody understand what that is? In all the different facets of our lives, the abundance that just flows through us all the time. And the more of whatever it is we have in our lives that we share, it fills right back up. I think we've covered it. Any questions? All right, let's read together the affirmation of abundance, may we? When we truly begin to want more for others than we want for ourselves, we will begin to notice amazing changes in our own lives. May we ponder that wisdom, sir. Thank you, Wayne. And it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while, so it's good to see you this morning. As we prepare for our meditation this morning, let's sing together in the stillness of in the silence of the stillness, number 97 in the wings.
In the stillness of the silence.
Something like that.
Well, I think sometimes we sang about morning is broken and about the garden. Well, so we tie in sometimes. Okay, let's begin with some deep and quieting breaths. Take a moment and in your mind's eye, imagine a garden. That has some weeds that need to be pulled. Regrets of the past. Worries of the future. Judgment. Other worries and concerns. Breathe in deep. 1, 2, 3, 4. And release and let go. Now, the new soil is ready for planting seeds. The seeds of gratitude. All that you are grateful for. Of acceptance of self and others. of inner peace. A celebration of life. Allow these seeds to grow and bloom with light that glows brighter and stronger with each breath. As we close down this meditation, you can always return to the garden and make it your own.
Thank you, Janet. In the final part of your meditation, you said we can always return to the garden. As I was returning to the garden, it just came to me. I should have printed out a newsletter. On the 18th, we're having a work party, and we're going to do some gardening and some cutting and hacking as we return to our garden on the 18th. So I hope you don't forget as easily as I do. So I'd like to read for you a poem this morning. I started off the week thinking I was going to talk about critical thinking, and I got very critical about it, decided that was not a topic for today. And then a friend of mine sent me a poem, and I read it, and I thought, this should be something we all hear. The title is Belief, and I'm not sure I wrap my head around that title so much, but the poem is just beautiful. So, I can't save the world. Can't save even myself. Can't wrap my arms around every frightened child. Can't foster peace among nations. I can't bring love to all who feel unlovable. So, I practice opening my heart right here in this room, and being gentle with my insufficiency. I practice walking down the street, heart first. And if it is insufficient to share love, I will practice loving anyway. I want to converse about truth and about trust. I want to invite compassion into every interaction. One willing heart can't stop a war. One willing heart can't feed all the hungry. And sometimes, daunted by a task too big, I tell myself, what's the use of doing anything at all? But today, the invitation is clear: to be ridiculously courageous in love, to open the heart like a lilac in May, knowing that freeze is possible and opening anyway. To take love seriously, to give love wildly, to race up to the world as if I were a puppy, adorning and unjaded, stumbling over my own exuberance, to feel the shock of indifference, of anger, of cruelty, of fear, and stay open. Stay open to love as if it matters, as if the world depends on it. Rosemary Kramer. What a wonderful poem. And as I thought about all these things, we would all like to see peace on earth, no war. We'd like to have everybody have a full belly every night before they go to sleep, and somebody to hug them. But the reality is, that's not going to happen everywhere. Probably. But it can happen in our own little world. It can happen in this room. We can love our neighbor. We can accept the people that have different opinions than ours. We can put some food in the food barrel. We can throw a buck in the can that the homeless guy's got. We can do these little things that we can do. Does it change the world? Maybe not noticeably to the rest of the world, but I assure you it does change the world. Somebody's not as hungry as they would have been before we gave them a Big Mac. Somebody doesn't feel as alone as they felt before we said hi and gave them a hug. All these little things that we can do make a difference. Will it change the world? We can only hope. Maybe we do enough decent things, people will get the idea and see us, and we can be an example rather than an exception. That's something I haven't done but maybe 2 or 3 times in my life. This week I actually watched an interview with Warren Buffett. I never knew who Warren Buffett was much. I never heard the phrase financially planning till I was over 75 years old. And it shows. But I was listening to Warren Buffett. He was saying that he gets asked all the time, in this caustic, crazy, chaotic world we live in, what should people do? What should I buy? Should I sell? What should I change? He said, don't do any of that stuff. Why are we afraid of things that we really have no influence on, that we can't change the outcome of anyway, like elections and stock markets and wars? Our personal participation doesn't really have any effect on that, for the most part, unless we're a senator or a president or somebody in a decision-making place. But don't we sure get worried? Don't we get upset? Don't we get afraid? What's this world coming to? Warren Buffett says, just do like you always have been doing. Continue to show your integrity. Continue to act without huge, severe judgment. Continue to share your abundance as you have in the past. Just keep doing what has worked for you. And if you've had a successful life, if you feel good about it, don't change a thing. Why would you change if it isn't broke? There's always been chaos in the world. There's always been war. There's always been crazy people. But that doesn't prevent you from keep on doing what you've been doing that works out well for you. We've been trying over time to invite speakers, people from nonprofits and different places, to speak and share what their organization does. And we're going to continue to do that so that we can maybe partner in different areas that we haven't partnered before. Dick, you just spoke to me this morning about an organization. Would you holler out what that organization is?
Young Life.
Young Life. And it's an organization directed at youth?
Yes.
Or expound on it just a little bit.
It's an organization that works with youth on a number of levels, but it has a spiritual component to it.
Okay.
Introducing teenagers primarily to the spiritual path. But they work in a number of ways with primarily high school kids.
All right. So Dick's going to try to get this guy named Jeff, I forget his last name already.
Jeff Johnson.
Jeff Johnson, to come and talk to us about that. Because most of us are a little bit out of touch with our youth today. We have opinions like, what's becoming of these kids? But they're kids just like we were. Nothing's different, except maybe they don't have the level of adult influence in their life, one-on-one adult influence in their lives that maybe we did. And that's just a guess, I don't know. But what a great organization. And maybe they do things or could use a few bucks or could use some volunteers, who knows? But it's certainly worth expanding our territory a little bit to find out about. We can get crazy and worried and afraid and angry and nuts, and all it does is make us sick inside. That fear and anger, it's just poison. But every one of us has in our lives, just from today backwards, look at our lives. We've all been through some rough stuff. We've all been through some things we aren't necessarily proud about. But we've all had some fabulous experiences. We've all become aware of just how amazing what's inside of us truly is, or we wouldn't be here today. And why would we waste such a gift of peace and wisdom that every one of us has inside, why would we let that go by the wayside and take on anger and worry and fear and anxiety? We do, all of us do a little bit, unless we become aware, unless we remind ourselves. All this crazy stuff been going on ever since there were people. That's part of the thing. But we can maybe have some impact on our community. Like the poem says, we can start right in this very room. Sharing our smiles and our hugs, our encouragement, and sharing with this congregation, with this family. Oh, these folks over here, they're going through, their house burned down. They could use some blankets and some money and some food maybe. And sharing these opportunities that we can allow the abundance within us that flows through to flow in places where it could usually really be appreciated. I don't know how many people are in this room now that remember our little group called the Crisis Wranglers. But I'm going to tell a story about it just because to show what a difference we actually can make without working very hard at it. We heard from Catholic Charities, the Oakland organization, that there was a family coming to the Santa Rosa area, the Petaluma, Santa Rosa area, from Afghanistan. And it was a man and his wife and two little kids. One was just an infant, one of the kids. They didn't know for sure when they were coming. And the Catholic Charities would find them an apartment. But they didn't have anything except one suitcase, one, for the whole family. And they weren't sure when it was going to happen, but could we help? So we put it out there in this database called Crisis Wranglers. And everybody had their own social media group. And turns out in 8 days, we wound up having stuff in Marjorie's garage, stuff in my garage, stuff here at the church. We completely filled a 2-bedroom apartment with furniture, beds, baby beds, a sewing machine, toilet paper, paper towels, groceries, clothing, bed sheets, towels, everything, lamps, tables, everything that a family could need. We had to rent a truck to carry it. Mike Gribble rented the truck, and we loaded the stuff in it from 3 different places. And the apartment that they found for that overnight, they just had like 1-2 days to get it, was in Sacramento. Drove over to Sacramento, unloaded it. 6 months later, they moved to Petaluma, where his company was. It was a company been doing business in Afghanistan. But the thing is that in 8 days, this little group that was spawned right here at Church of the Oaks, this little family, reached out to win our own little worlds, and we completely stocked a home for a family in 8 days. We can do that. We can do that again today or tomorrow, if we just sharpen up our awareness. Think about our own little databases that we have, our friends and family and our little groupies. What would happen if we get together and do things like that more often than when Wayne sends a group email that somebody's got cancer or somebody is going to pass away? That's almost all we do that group for now. I think we could expand that. I think we could bring these crisis wranglers back into play, maybe change the name and just get together and do some good things. Have some nonprofits come and speak to us. And maybe if it's a youth group, maybe we could have a bingo fundraiser for them, or maybe we could have some kind of a thing in the hall, an activity, have people lead them doing things that youth do. I don't even know what kids do now. They actually spend a lot of time on their phones. And maybe they could wind up spending more time doing things together as a group. And I don't know. But I know each of us has gifts within us that we so many times push by the wayside and get angry and get apoplexy, get anxiety, get hateful and mean. All of us. I've got a daughter sitting right there that can attest to how hateful and mean I can get when I get up in the morning and I'm not happy about something. And I don't think I'm any different than anybody else. We're honest. But her presence in my life helps me refocus. I have gifts. I have amazing gifts, and I can share those. And she reminds me to quit being an old stick and go to a better place in my life. Be the kind of guy I'm proud of be. Instead of the kind of guy I'm ashamed of. I don't know, maybe nobody else in here has ever been ashamed of themselves. Or I don't know. But I don't think I'm the only one. So I'm going to encourage us to give some thought to just one line of this poem. Being a puppy, you know how they jump and fall down and trip on their own feet and get excited about living life, and they're excited you're here. How long has it been since we've been that excited to see somebody? Just something to think about. I have these two young ladies back here, and they walk into this room and I get excited because they bring energy. They've got a whole lifetime in front of them to do things that I never even thought of. And they're going to be able to start with all this technology and start with all this new scientific knowledge, and start with all these great things to make life maybe more valuable. Maybe to make this living experience have more value, with a little less worry, a little less hatefulness, a little less fear. So I heard somebody say, if you want to feel something you've never felt before, then you ought to probably have to do something you've never done before. So if you'd like to feel a little better about something, yourself, others, maybe we could try doing something that we've never done before. But I'm going to take this poem over next door if you'd like to read it, but it's just, none of us are going to change this world. Not significantly. We aren't going to win the wars. This little group of 20 people is not going to end world hunger and starvation. But we can start doing something to end the hunger in McCarty. Maybe we can stop having a big conflict with our neighbors, or maybe family members. We have the gifts inside of us to make these things happen. So let's try to be like the puppies that are all excited about what's going to happen tomorrow and who's in the room. And give each other some of that love. Some of that just, no design, just caring and love and compassion. And I think if we do that, I think we will find that within ourselves, we'll have more satisfaction, more peace, and more self-love as well. That's it. I've said it 3 or 4 times. Wayne reminds me, you said it 4 times already. We get it, Patrick. So hopefully you get it. Let's all be like puppies, and we're going to try not to wet on the floor. But other than that, let's just go out there and be excited about life today and see what it brings. So let's stand up and sing, "Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me."